Not a lot of people make direct eye contact for long periods of time. Just look at me when I'm speaking.
You're going to find a lot of guys have problems doing that because you're super pretty. And the thing is that most guys find pretty faces in a girl really intimidating because they want to be admired, but if they don't feel like they're that guy who's worthy of admiration, they're not going to be able to look at you.
Well, it bothers me.
Well, of course it does, because you're intuitively, biologically feeling that you can crumble him. It's weakness.
It's weakness.
Women hate weak men. Look at the absolute contempt in her eyes. A man who she feels that she can crumble, she hates that man. One of the reasons why a lot of women will choose the bad boy thug guy is because she perceives his brash asshole behavior as strength. Whereas with the nice guy, she views his niceness as a form of weakness and she hates it.
Where if a guy is weak, we could smell it on you from a mile away. And if you're going to be a weak man, we will dominate you, not intentionally, but in just like, this man's not doing anything. He's not leading me. Like, I have to step up and wear the pants. And that is the worst dynamic for relationships. It just creates so many issues.
It creates a lot of resentment.
Yes. And I think submission is fun for girls in the sense of like, I don't love making a bajillion decisions all the time. I want to have somebody that I can trust to lead me with a decision that's going to be the most beneficial for me, for him, for my relationship with God and my future children and everything of the sort. And then I could just focus on like, what new recipe do I want to try? Or like, what new hobby do I want to take on?
Longtime subscribers of my channel know this. Women like to submit to a man's leadership. They crave the feminine experience of looking up to a competent, masculine man. But if that's true, then why in relationships do so many modern women desperately seek control? Always trying to be in charge, always challenging his leadership, always trying to make all the decisions. A lot of guys are thinking, what's going on? I thought women were attracted to men with leadership qualities. Why isn't she letting me lead? She seems to fight me on everything, always disagreeing, always undermining my decisions. I can explain it like this. A lot of women desperately want control and they'll do whatever they can to get it until they succeed. And then they have the control and they hate it. And then they resent how much control they have, they blame you, and they lose attraction.
I feel like once a woman knows that they can get under a guy's skin or dictate how he feels, I feel like that's when she takes control of the entire relationship.
Yeah. But like, you're a woman and you can say, I can make him sad. I can make him attached. I can make him anxious. You are now in control of him and his thoughts and his emotions. It will completely turn that woman off. Did you just say true? Say it to the camera for me.
That's decently true.
So let's get this straight. We've got women who are disagreeing with men, always arguing with them, trying to take control of the relationship, constantly testing him, seeing if she can control him. And the end result, if she succeeds and she manages to gain that control, then she becomes miserable. How does this make sense? In my private consultations, I explain it to men this way. She knows that somebody has to be in control. Somebody has to be leading. And ideally, that would be you. But you are not a dictator. You are an elected leader, and she's only going to let you lead if she can fully trust you. Imagine she wants to be a passenger in the car. You know, she doesn't want to think about the destination or deal with the turn signals or anything like that. She just wants to look out the window, stare at the pretty scenery, maybe check her phone, do her nails. That's her preference. She doesn't want to drive. She doesn't want to lead. But if she suddenly notices that you're not steering properly, like you fall asleep at the wheel or you're drunk or something, she will grab the wheel and take control of the car, not because she wants to, but because she has to. And now she's driving and she's pissed at you because she feels like you're not doing your job. If you're a man and you're not a strong leader in your relationship, that's the reason why she's always pissed with you. That's why she's always starting fights. That's why she's not having sex with you anymore. Ultimately, she's probably going to dump you because she doesn't need you. But Alexander, this still doesn't make any sense. This doesn't line up with reality. You're saying that women don't want to be in control. They want to be the passenger. Well, that doesn't track with what I've seen, which is women constantly trying to grab the wheel and steer. If she truly deep down doesn't want to be in charge, why does it seem like she's constantly fighting me for control? She shouldn't be. She's being dumb. What's actually occurring is a very immature way of testing a man. She's trying to reassure herself of your competence as a leader by questioning you and challenging you because she wants to be put in her place. It's a childish, immature strategy. She's being stupid. And the worst part of all is it does not work that way. If she had any empathy for the male experience, if she put in any effort trying to understand men, then she would know that finding a weak point and attacking it is not an effective way of building up a man's confidence so that he can be the leader that she wants.
My mother told me She said, you never hit a man where he's weak. Never. It could be true, it could be real, but you don't hit him where he's weak because it'll turn around on you. You can get him to do what you need him to do, but you never hit a man where he's weak because they never forget it. It lives with them.
I mean, this seems obvious, but honestly, so many women do not understand this. They think that somehow fighting, nagging, preying on his insecurities is somehow going to magically transform him into a man of confidence. What a surprise, that's not going to work. I mean, if this seems so basic, it feels like condescending to have to explain this. But honestly, so many women don't get it. And they don't understand that there is a healthy alternative, a way to build up a man's confidence, a way a woman should behave in a relationship. I'm going to explain that in a moment, but first I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, Bathmate. Lots of guys want their body to be in top physical condition. They want to be healthy. That's why they're hitting the gym, they're doing their exercise. But one part of their body that's often neglected is their cock. And they think, if only there was a way that I could lift weights with my dick, keep it strong. Good news, there kind of is. That's where Bathmate hydro pumps come in. Bathmate products have a vacuum seal. You use it in the shower with water so that the pressure is evenly distributed. As you pump, it draws blood into your cock. It gives you a rock hard erection, and that's really good for the health of your penis. The reason why you have random erections throughout the night while you're sleeping is for your penis health. It's good for it to have blood flowing in and out. That's like exercise. Now, I get some older guys and some younger guys contact me for advice because their erections are not as strong as they used to be. They want to know my opinion on erectile dysfunction pills. And I'm against them. They have too many side effects. Bathmate products are the natural alternative. They're high quality. They're manufactured in the UK. They're FDA inspected. And they have thousands of 5-star reviews. In fact, they're so confident that you're going to love their product that they offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. So whether you're doing it for penis health, or you've got erectile dysfunction and you want to see your cock nice and big, or even if you're just curious to see how it works, click on the link in the description box below. With that money-back guarantee, there really is no risk. Give it a try. Okay, back to the man in a relationship who's struggling to be the leader that she wants because she's constantly arguing with him, constantly testing him, challenging him for control of the relationship. She is engaged in the exact wrong strategy. What he needs at that moment is not her attacking him and undermining him. At that moment, he needs her support. When something happens to him that shakes his confidence, it's the role of his girlfriend or wife to build him back up again, to help him restore his confidence. It's her job to help him feel like a man again. One of the sweetest things that a guy can say about his girlfriend is, "She helps me believe in myself." Isn't that a beautiful sentiment when a quality woman sees something in him that even he struggles to see, and she helps him believe it's true? She thinks, I'm going to support him. I'm going to show him that he can be this incredible man. What guy wouldn't want a wife like that? If, in the course of his leadership duties, he makes a dumb decision, it's not the right thing for the wife to suddenly be like, okay, well, you messed up, you made a mistake, so I'm taking over the decisions from now on. No, what she needs to do is reaffirm her trust in him, encourage him to continue to make decisions, build back his confidence. When he makes a mistake and he's doubting himself, that's the right moment to ask his advice about other things. Show him that you still believe in him, you still trust his judgment. Build him up. It honestly doesn't take that much. And yet, for so many of these modern women, the moment that they see weakness in their husband, their first thought isn't, how can I support him? How can I build him back up? How can I be a loyal and supportive wife here? No, their first thought is selfish. How dare he be weak? Doesn't he know how this is going to affect me? And so she punishes him, she attacks him, or she abandons him.
Well, how old is your daughter?
She's 9 months.
So where's her father? What's going on with you guys?
He's in the hospital, so he's very ill. So I'm looking for like a stepfather.
Wait, so you broke up with him while he's in the hospital?
No, I didn't break up with him.
Were y'all not together when he went to the hospital?
Yeah, we're still together.
Wait, okay.
I'm looking for like just in case.
Just in case if he passes away?
Right.
I know that it's fashionable amongst modern women to complain that men aren't men anymore. Men are too weak. Men need to step up. I'm not going to argue with that. Modern men are too feminine. But let's be real, women, a lot of the blame here is on you. For For so many women, their expectations are just insane. And the way that you conduct yourselves in relationships makes everything harder. How is a man meant to be a man and lead in a relationship if you don't just chill out and let him do his thing? It's time for some soul searching. Every woman entering into a relationship needs to ask herself this question: where do I want this relationship to be? What am I looking for? Do I want him to be perfect and therefore I will punish him every time he falls short? Constantly looking for any mistakes or weakness so I can pounce upon him? Ready at a moment's notice to assert my masculinity and take over? Is that what you want? Is that what you're looking for in a relationship? Or would you rather choose a feminine strategy? I don't want to think about that stuff. I want to be feminine and I want to show him support. Because when he slips up and he isn't as masculine as you want him to be, in that instance, you have two choices. Choice one, you can become more masculine yourself. You can take more control in the relationship. You can do that. I guarantee you'll hate it. Or when he slips up and he becomes less masculine, instead of punishing him, you show support. You show grace, dignity, femininity. You show him that you trust him and you help guide him back to his own masculinity.
All men want the same thing. Men just want a nice, sweet, supportive woman. You don't even have to be that beautiful. And women can make themselves more beautiful. Like, don't be fat, like go to the gym. It's not that difficult. Eat healthy, not that difficult. You know, you can put a little bit of makeup on, not too much. But ultimately, men just want a supportive, kind, sweet woman. He's going to go out there, take on the world, do all these difficult things, and he just wants to go home and know that there's peace. There's food on the table. The house is clean. It's really not that difficult.
She's right. It's not that difficult. But then why can't women do it? What is the psychological drive that pushes a woman to attack a man when he's down rather than support him? A huge part of it is the culture that we live in with like all women are queens and never settle for anything less than perfection. There's a massively sexist undercurrent in our society that legitimately thinks that men are worth less than women. Therefore, if men aren't serving women in the way that a woman decides is appropriate, she's fine and justified to abuse him. That's part of the explanation, but sadly, also a huge part of this comes from childhood, especially for women who did not grow up with an appropriate masculine role model. I know a lot of men in my audience are going to relate to this because when you're dealing with your girlfriend or wife's problems, do you sometimes get that feeling that what you're dealing with here is not something that you created? You're just dealing with leftover issues that were put in her by her childhood, you know, her relationship with her father or her lack of a relationship. If a woman grows up in a household that lacks a strong, positive, masculine role model, then she's going to feel a vacuum of masculinity and it's going to make her feel unsafe. And so, as a natural consequence, she steps into her masculine more. She wants to be in control. She wants to create her own sense of safety.
That constant need you have to control your partner stems from fear. And it's a learned behavior, oftentimes from our parents. I can't speak for you, but for me, it was definitely from my childhood dynamic with my parents and my dad, rest in peace, love him, but he was emotionally unavailable growing up and he was a busy provider man. So needless to say, I grew up with this feeling of lack of control. I didn't know what was going to happen next. It was very chaotic. And so then I learned that what soothes me as I grew older was making sure I was in control of everything, which is great when you're single, not great when you have a partner because you cannot control them. This is why I always preach that relationships are what can truly heal us because it shows us the mirror that we have to work on within ourselves. I challenge you ladies, the next time you feel like controlling your partner, step away and ask yourself, what am I deeply afraid of?
I mean, this sucks because this issue can sink your relationship and it's not even your issue. It has to do with how her father raised her 20 years ago. This is one of the reasons why so many men are weary of being in a relationship with a woman who has daddy issues. It is so much easier to be in a relationship with a woman who had a good father growing up, someone who was capable, who made her feel safe. Because when she grows up to be an adult, she already has a solid blueprint for masculine and feminine dynamics and how that works. And so when you come along, it's easy for you to just slot into that role naturally. It's a lot harder for women who grew up without a sense of safety and stability because they had to control everything. And now, as the man in her life, you're asking her to give up that control. It's difficult because not only do you need to be the masculine presence in her life, you need to teach her what that even means, how life works when she's not in control, how she can learn to trust. Do you understand how difficult that is? It's not just that she needs to learn to trust you, it's that she needs to learn that she needs to be able to trust you. She needs to learn the skill of trust and then actually do it. In a sense, you kind of need to reparent her. You need to be that solid rock of masculinity, and only if you're really, really grounded in that is she going to feel safe enough to be able to release some of that control. But don't expect that process to be easy. In fact, she'll probably kick and scream the whole way along because she's frightened. She feels the need to test you. She doesn't know if she can trust you. In a sense, while you're being her new father, she regresses to being a child, which is why she's acting so obnoxious, why she's having tantrums. And it's completely exhausting from the man's point of view. You don't want to have to deal with a woman who's just fighting you on absolutely everything. It's a really tough dynamic because I get that emotionally she might still feel like a child, and a tantrum is the appropriate behavior given her emotions, but it really takes a drain on the man.
It's my day.
Take me out of the lake! Why is it so hard?
It's my day to get shit done too. And you're acting like an 11-year-old that didn't get the toy from Walmart.
Why can I ever go? Why?
Men do not want to deal with this. Fathers out there who have daughters, please tell me that you're parenting well, that you're involved in your daughter's life, that she can depend upon you. Because how good of a father you are is going to directly shape how your daughter is in her future relationships. That's on you. That's a big responsibility. I hope that you're taking it seriously. And can I also say how deplorable it is those women who limit access of their children to their father after a divorce because they want to punish him, and they have no idea what they're robbing their children of. Children need fathers. So women who have these issues, a lot of men, they don't want to deal with it, and I get that. You'd rather be in a relationship with a woman who is well adjusted, who's naturally submissive, who doesn't fight you for control. You don't want everything to be an argument. I get that, but I will say that there is a unique experience available to a rare number of men who are able to successfully coach a woman through those insecurities and then learn to be feminine. If you are sufficiently masculine that you are the one who unlocks her femininity in a positive way, that is going to be a loyalty-inducing pair bonding experience that is very, very special. You can only do that with a woman who is sincerely willing to try. She wants to embrace her femininity. She wants to trust your masculinity. If you succeed, then you will unlock a softness and a gratitude that is really very special. Enjoy it. You will have earned it. It takes more work, but it is possible to date a woman like this successfully.
Like, the interesting thing about that is, like, you so much of a hustler, a go-getter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you say that you want to eventually live a soft girl life. It kind of threw me back a little bit.
Like I told you then, it's just like I have been hustling my entire life. Like, anything that I have in my life, anything that I have obtained in my life, it did not come to me easily. It didn't fall in my lap. I didn't inherit it. I didn't get it from my parents. And I'm not just talking about monetary things. I'm talking about my peace. As a child, I didn't have an easy childhood. I had to survive through that too. And that's not to say like, oh, woe is me and why me. No, I'm not asking. I know why me. I'm in my 30s, 20 years of me in survival mode. I don't want to be in survival mode no more. I want to be in my soft, I'm protected. And that's how I feel. You do give me that.
Taking a woman who does not know how to trust and teaching her. In that dynamic, having a fulfilling relationship is possible, but is it worth it? And if you want to try, what are some tips to make that easier? How specifically are you able to help her? That is a very in-depth topic, and it's what I go into in the extended version of this video, which is available on my Patreon. What I release here on YouTube, these are just shortened, abridged versions of my videos. The longer versions, which are available on my Patreon, go into a lot more depth for those guys who really want to sink their teeth into this stuff and understand it at a deep level. So if you want access to that, come over to my Patreon.